Magandang araw, Podmates! Howie Severino muli na may kausap na namang isang dalubhasa tungkol sa isang napakamahalagang issue, ang mental health natin, lalo na sa ilalim ng pandemya. Ang panauhin natin ngayon ay ang psychiatrist at mental health advocate na si Dr. Joan Perez-Rifareal. Magandang araw sa inyo, Doc.
Hello! Thank you very much, Sir Howie, for having me sa iyong program, sa iyong podcast. So, magandang araw sa lahat ng mga nakikinig at nanonood.
Well, thank you for sharing your time and expertise with us. So, madalas kayong ma-interview noong kasagsagan ng pandemya, no? Na panood namin yung ilang interview mo online, no? Dahil syempre laganap noon ang mga mental health issues nating lahat, no, ng mga tao. Naunawa natin kung bakit, no, nakakulong, yung maraming namamatay during that time, maraming nagkakasakit. Ngayon, mas relax na yung mga tao, no? Lumalabas na, pumapasok na yung mga bata, nakapagbakasyon na, daming ang revenge travel, nagkikita-kita na yung mga tao. Hindi na sila parang mga preso sa bahay. May pagbabago na ba? Or marami pa rin natitirang yung mga naramdaman natin noong kasagsagan ng pandemya?
Yes, oo. Yes, Sir Howie, no? So napansin natin na, of course, tama yun, ang gumaganda kasi mas nakakalabas na, but tandaan natin na with any form of transition din kasi to from a online classes, for example, or work from home. Tapos slowly nagta-transition to going back sa kanilang physical offices, physical classrooms. Any form of transition kasi, nagkakaroon din ito ng temporary, no? Na parang we feel shaken, kailangan mag-adjust, mag-adapt. At with this, nagkakaroon also na emotional changes or mga emotional reactions. Like for example, napansin natin to noong start ng transition of going back sa outside world, nagkakaroon pa rin ng anxiety. Ito yung pangamba, takot. Saan ba nanggagaling itong takot na to? Ang tawag namin dito is re-entry panic syndrome. Panic, so anxiety. Kasi takot pa rin ang mga tao kasi we know na nasa pandemya pa rin tayo at the virus is still here, the virus is still out there. So may takot pa rin. Yung mga students naman, yung nag-adapt sila, nag-adjust. No? So nahirapan din sila with this adjustment ngayon. At kung dati 5 minutes before class, tsaka lang sila gumigising, ngayon kailangan maaga na sila. No? Maaga, nagmamadali, tumatakbo, nag-uunahan sa tren, nag-uunahan sa bus. So, pati mga nagtatrabaho sa work. No? So, ang tawag naman natin dito is yung mga aftermath na no? Ng mga sa pandemya, no? Yung transportation difficulty, kaya nakakaroon din no? Ng adjustment doon. Yung uncertainty kasi ngayon, nandito pa rin. Hindi pa rin natin alam kailan ba matatapos itong pandemya, what will happen next week, next month. So, itong uncertainty nagdudulot din, nagdadala din ito ng kaba sa atin, especially for those na nahirapan talaga nung pandemic. Again, yung after effects niya, no? Yung mga alam natin na nawalan ng trabaho, yung iba, for some, no, nag-layoffs, may mga closures and downsizing. So, in fact, sa level po no, ng mga stressors now, number 1 po ang finances talaga. No? So, that's the main concern now. So, di ba, sa mga bata-bata, meron silang tinatawag na fear of missing out, FOMO. Dito naman ngayon sa state na to, FONO, F-O-N-O, fear of the normal, yung what we used to know as the normal before. Because takot tayo, like for example, sa paglalabas tayo, we are not sure no, kung katabi ba natin is bakunado na siya or asymptomatic. So may mga ganun pa rin na anxiety and the mga after effects of yung mga lockdowns from before, like unemployment.
So how can we manage this itong re-entry panic na sinasabi nyo? It's also a source of stress, no? So itong mga bata halimbawa na matagal nakakulong, no? So may source of stress din 'yon. And then sabi niyo nga pag nag face to face na, that's also a source of stress, no? So what can teachers do? What can parents do for young kids, for the Gen Zs, no, who are going to college now? For the first time, like face to face.
Especially, Sir Howie, yung mga bata na mas younger, na never pa talaga silang nakatry, no, ng face-to-face sa classroom. Sila yung mas, who would go through a period talaga of adjustment. Kasi bago lahat pati classroom, they've never been to a classroom, they've never seen their teacher na face-to-face. So, ang number one po dito, lagi namin pinapaalala is to prepare always natin, yung mga parents to always help the children. Prepare nila na, oops, anak, kailangan mag-establish na tayo ng routine every day. So, para hindi na mahirapan sa transition. So, start with that routine na there is that specific time na kailangan gumising na, prepare, kumain, maligo, para wag malate sa school. So, make sure that we follow that schedule, routine to give us a sense of structure to our day. Not just para sa mga bata, pati yung mga babalik sa kanilang physical offices. It is very helpful to have that routine and structure. Another naman po is make sure natin na we also empower the teachers. Sila po ang second parents ng ating mga anak. We empower the teachers also na alam nila how to manage or how to handle itong mga different emotions ng mga bata. Alam natin sometimes they can be scared, fearful sila sa mga unang araw, but hopefully through time, again, yung adjustment phase naman kasi Sir Howie, hindi naman siya forever. Usually 3 months to 6 months. So hopefully by now, nakaka-adapt na, mas nakaka-adapt na yung mga bata. And ang isa lang po sa napansin namin is yung empower the teachers also na identify nila kaagad yung mga children who would need help with regards to the emotional needs ng mga bata. Sometimes kasi sila yung unang nakakapansin no, na oops, parang hindi masyadong compared to pre-pandemic, parang ngayon hindi masyadong nakakapag-submit ng projects on time, or bumabagsak ang grades, laging absent, siguro there's something, there's a concern siguro sa bahay or sa paaralan. So, ang mga teachers also, sana ay empowered din sila to be able to catch the red flags kaagad. And meron silang mga designated point persons sa school, like mga guidance counselors, who can give that psychological support para sa mga bata.
So maraming kang maririnig na mga terms no associated with like mental health conditions or yung moods ng mga tao, like nabanggit mo na yung ilan no, may stress, that's one no, yung anxiety, may depression, may sadness no pa. So kayo dahil trained kayo na mag-diagnose, mag-discern no ng mga ganyang conditions no. What are the basic differences, halimbawa, between stress and anxiety? Kasi on one level, parang sa mga lay people, non-experts, parang pareho lang yan but may difference yan para sa mga doktor katulad nyo.
Meron. Ang stress kasi, to define it, it's that state of imbalance. No? Mafe-feel natin to na there's that imbalance between the demands from life, from all areas of life, like from work, family, relationships, health-related. May imbalance between the demands ng life versus our ability to cope or handle it. So, yung ating coping skills, be it internal or external coping strategy. Now, kung mas madami ang demands, so nagkakaroon sometimes that feeling of stress pag hindi natin na-meet yung demands. So that's stress. But what's important also to emphasize is that a bit of stress is also good. So let's never be afraid of the word stress. It's a normal part of life. In fact, sa definition, Sir Howie, ng mental health, nakasaad doon from the World Health Organization na part of mental health really is that we are able to cope with the stressors of life. So part yun. So that's important, no? Kasi a bit of stress will push us to wake up in the morning, bumangon na, gumising na para wag malate sa trabaho, sa school. So konting stress is good para mag-aral ang mga anak, para wag silang bumagsak sa exam. But let's make sure na alam natin yung tipping point, no? Yung hanggang saan lang ba ang kaya natin na ma-handle na stress, because beyond that, it can present with yung mas magiging severe na siya, like distress, anxiety, burnout, which is very common among those who are in the working na profession. Burnout is also real, and depression. So kaya kung titingnan natin siya, mayroon siyang spectrum na gano'n, na normal stress, healthy stress, and then beyond that, magkakaroon na ng other forms of mental health concerns. Now, anxiety in layman is pangamba. takot. So there is that worry, maybe about something na uncertain. Like ngayon, may mga uncertainty. So natatakot tayo, what will happen tomorrow, next day. We feel sometimes, so ang dami pumapasok sa isip, we feel overwhelmed, kaya nahihirapan tayong matulog sa gabi because of all of these worries and anxieties natin. Depression naman is iba. Ito naman yung pagbagsak ng mood. So it's a mood concern. Kaya kasi anxiety is kaba, ang depression is mood naman. So pag nasobrahan naman ng stress, our mood can drop. Na? Yung sobrang bagsak ng mood, nawawalan tayo ng interest, gana sa kung ano man yung mga nagiging gusto nating gawing hobbies before. Parang biglang nawala lahat yon. We feel hopeless, helpless, worthless. Nahirapan tayong mag-concentrate, focus, to the point na there's dysfunction already, naapektuhan na ang ating functionality sa trabaho, bumabagsak ang ating productivity, functionality, even self-care can be affected when we are in that state of depression. Pati relationships, nagkakaroon ng mga arguments because again, of that state na bagsak ang mood or sobrang irritable. Ang very important lang na concepts here is that when we say anxiety disorders or depression, a clinical depression, ang very important here is timeline. Kasi sometimes it's normal, no? Na nagkakaroon tayo ng happy moments, we feel anxious pag may exam, normal yon. But after that exam, after that period na parang, oops, naka-recover, naka-bounce back tayo, those are normal emotions, but timeline is very important. If our mood na sobrang bagsak persists for 2 weeks, sa book kasi, sa Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, nakasaad talaga doon na 2 weeks na persistently, and for the most part of the day, bagsak ang mood, walang interest, bagsak ang energy, no motivation, hindi nakakapag-concentrate, we feel all of the negative thoughts in our head, hopelessness, guilt, worthlessness. Sometimes umaabot pa, Sir Howie, sa mga negative thoughts about the future, ourselves, na self-harm. So, pag ganun, na may ganun na dysfunction or distress, and it affects our functionality already, then that's a, that's a disorder already, or
Red
a
flag.
mental health. Yeah, red flags na po yun. And we need to do a thorough assessment na kaagad.
Intervention.
And intervention, yes.
Pero 2 weeks, no? 2 weeks. I mean, kasi
Yes.
kung talagang bagsak yung mood mo for just a couple of days, then we shouldn't worry about it. Wait for it to kind of parang take its course and maybe go away after. Pero pag dumating ng 2 weeks, hindi pa rin nagbabago yung mood, then kailangan ng maghanap ng magpasaklolo or di ba, humingi ng
Seek
advice
help.
na
But
sa mga espesyalista.
yes, but in that 2 weeks, Sir Howie, kahit hindi pa umaabot sa 2 weeks, pero if we notice na talagang, oops, kasi pati physical health it can also be affected. Mapapansin natin na lagi nang isolated. Hindi na nakakalabas ng kwarto, hindi na kumakain, bumabagsak na ang katawan, hindi na nakakatulog. Sometimes kasi the presentation is tulog ng tulog or kulang sa tulog. Pwedeng kain ng kain as a form of stress eating, or they really can't eat. Wala silang appetite kaya bumabagsak ang katawan. Kahit na wala pang 2 weeks, if they mention sa mga social media nila or they say, verbalize na parang, I just want to end this, I don't want this anymore, I just want to go away. Pag may mga ganun, then let's not wait for 2 weeks. That's a medical emergency. That's a psychiatric emergency already. And let's kaagad bring to a mental health professional. Kasi sa lahat ng ito, Sir Howie, sa lahat ng any mental health concern, safety is always the priority. Safety of the person, the individual, and safety also of the people around the individual, with the individual, sa family, sa community. So safety lagi ang tinitingnan din natin. Sometimes kasi kahit wala pang 2 weeks also, Sir Howie, nagkakaroon sila ng mga perceptual disturbances. Yung bang may mga nakikita sila na wala naman doon, or may mga naririnig na wala naman talaga doon. We called it mga hallucinations or mga paranoia, na yung delusion sila na, oy, someone is out to get me. If they're so depressed, sobrang bagsak ang mood nila. Yeah, then please seek help kaagad para maagapan natin. We can address it kaagad, and there are interventions, treatment options available which are truly very helpful.
Yeah, we'll make sure na kasama sa episode na to is information for people who need that kind of help or thinking
Yes.
that their loved ones may need
Correct.
that kind of help. No? Thank you for that perspective on the more serious conditions. No,
Yes.
but there are more common real world experiences, no,
Yes.
that I also want to ask you about.
Mhm.
Kasi like for example, right before a big event,
Yes.
before you have to speak before a large audience, or
Yes.
yun nga nabanggit nyo, mag final exam ka
Yeah.
or whatever, no,
Mhm.
you feel nervous, no, meron kang kaba. Oo.
Yes.
Ang sinasabi nyo, that's not something that we should really worry about. And I've read elsewhere, no, na
Mhm.
in fact that can be healthy kasi
Yeah.
that can motivate you actually to
Yeah.
work harder and prepare, no?
Yes.
That's kasi I'm one of those. I mean, I'm just
Mhm.
citing myself na
Yeah.
uh, I get more relaxed the more I'm prepared.
Correct.
If I'm not prepared, I know I'm not prepared, and then doon ako kinakabahan. For
Yes.
example, syempre, kunyari, commencement speaker ka or whatever, you're a public speaker at some event. Pag hindi ka preparado, talagang kakabahan ka, di ba?
So a bit of anxiety is good kasi it will push you to prepare. Usually sa mga estudyante, kasi teacher din ako, Sir Howie, no? So usually, no, bago mag-oral exam, revalida, yung mga ganon, defense ng kanilang mga thesis, talagang may kaba. But that's good. That's a good kaba. Kasi it will push them to prepare. It will push them to study well. Kasi kung ano-ano mga itatanong sa kanila, so dapat they should be prepared. But kung umaabot sa point naman, again, yung mga red flags here is that any form of anxiety which is extreme intense, sobrang extreme intense to the point na they will not be able to present, to function well, to deliver because of that intense na anxiety. When they feel na they're paralyzed na, quote unquote, paralyzed na by that anxiety, by that fear, then that's something naman na we can deal with that. No? There's also mga options available, treatment options available for that. Kasi may mga different forms din kasi, Sir Howie, of anxiety. And one of that is social phobia. Na? Yung phobia, mga phobia na ito, no? Na mga specific, like for this, no? Like public speaking. Social phobia is real. So nangyayari yun. So natatakot sila because they feel na parang all eyes will be on them, and then they feel na baka ma-embarrass sila, magkakamali, etc. So, merong also mga treatment strategies available for that. And sa therapy, we look into saan ba nanggagaling yung anxiety, baka they feel na kaya sila na-embarrass kasi may mga nangyaring traumatic experiences in the past when they presented and then napahiya or na-embarrass sila, na-humiliate. Mga ganun po. And medications also can also help to control the anxiety. So, in fact po, Sir Howie, sa lahat ng mental health concern, mataas ang recovery rates and help is always available. Kaya wag po silang matakot to really reach out po to mental health professionals when they feel na parang nalilimit ang kanilang full capacity to perform, to be the best that they can be because of all of these mga phobias, anxiety, depression, and other forms pa po of mental health concerns.
Another word that you often
Yes.
hear is burnout, no? Is that
Yes.
a mental health condition or issue that's often cited by people who shift careers, quit their jobs, move to the province, mga ganon, no? And sometimes they even credit the burnout to kind of an improvement in their life. Di ba? Meron silang iniiwan na masamang sitwasyon, no? But how do you perceive this word? And do most people experience it in a similar way?
All right. Ang burnout naman, Sir Howie, this is recognized by the World Health Organization as a real phenomenon. Totoong phenomenon ito. And it's due to chronic, pangmatagalan na work-related stress. So by definition, work-related siya. Na? Chronic work-related stress, which is siguro left unaddressed by the company or by the employees. Tatlong dimensions yun. No? So ang first doon is physically, there's that feeling of exhaustion. Bagsak. So if we are to picture it in our heads, para bang nalulobat, bagsak, no? Siguro if we start the year at 100% battery tayo, through time, bumabagsak siya hanggang umaabot lang sa 50% battery. So extreme exhaustion, physically hirap na bumangon sa umaga. So there's that exhaustion. Another, the second dimension of burnout is that negative na, no? Ang ating emotions, feelings towards our job. So there is that cynicism. We feel detached na, no? From our colleagues. From, for example, kung healthcare workers, from our patients. We feel parang there's that don't care attitude anymore. Kasi nga pagod na parang we feel negative na towards everything that's happening work-related. And the third is yung the overall satisfaction and performance dips. So nawawala na tayo ng satisfaction towards our job. It doesn't bring us that pleasure, that satisfaction anymore. We lose the passion, dedication because of chronic na mga work-related stressors. And again, number one sa mga stressors always, no, Sir Howie, kahit na saan, no, even sa workplace, it would include pa rin money, salary. Number two, opportunities for advancement sa trabaho. Another is poor relationships with colleagues, with bosses, with your mga ka-workmates. Others would be yung mga culture sa trabaho, like mga gossiping, mga ganon. So maraming factors din po, no, which may lead to this feeling of burnout. What's really important is it's recognized as a real condition. Kung hirap ang isang employee to go to work kasi sobrang pagod, and dapat let's never judge anyone na arte-arte lang naman kasi ayaw magtrabaho. Hindi po. Kasi talaga it's defined and recognized as a real condition.
Okay, para sa mga employer, boss, mga manager na nakikinig sa inyo ngayon, ano?
Yes.
What would you advise them? Kasi of course, worker burnout doesn't just affect the worker, it affects the workplace, no? It affects company productivity. So kung magkaroon ka ng epidemic ng burnout, that can bring the company down, that can bring the whole workplace down, ano? So ano pwedeng gawin ng mga manager, no, to recognize this and to address it?
Studies would show na with this, kung talagang hindi na recognize agad, absenteeism is an effect, bumabagsak ang kanilang productivity, and of course, it will affect everyone, the workforce nila, the company itself. So, what we always remind companies, especially the bosses, it's always a teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Open lines of communication is very important. So, they provide opportunities na yung let your offices be safe spaces kung saan pwede open lines ng communication, that the employees can voice out, give them opportunity to express their emotions. Yung iba naman, what they do is they hold mga regular na mga activities to just bond together, especially on a Friday night, for example. Yung iba, team building activities is very important to enhance communication, problem solve together, and para maiwasan yung mga arguments na conflicts na which is talagang nasosolve. Wala namang problema na hindi nasosolve with open lines of communication. So yun ang in-encourage namin na let our offices be safe spaces for us to feel na we can say, we can talk to our bosses without any judgment. No judgment. Kaya lagi sasabi, bawal judgmental. Kasi all of the emotions ng mga employees, all of the feelings are always valid. And mas maganda, we talk about it para we resolve conflicts and issues kaagad.
Good advice.
Yes.
So, what are the more common mental health concerns ng mga Gen Z generation naman?
Ang mga Gen Z, Sir Howie, sila itong mga digital natives. We call them digital natives kasi sila yung born with technically gadgets. May hawak na silang gadgets in their hands. Sila yung nasa age ngayon kasi up to sila ngayon 10 to more or less mga 24. They are in this stage ngayon na yung iba sa kanila are finding it difficult to balance yung kanilang personal lives with ACADS. ACADS kasi sila yung nasa ACAD, sila yung nasa school ngayon na age. Be it high school, senior high school, college, or early adult sila. So yung main concern sila ngayon are ACADS. Of course, yung kanilang work also, looking for jobs. Yung sa mga bagong graduates, pandemic pa din, hirap sila. And a major concern now is yung impact of social media. Sila kasi because of that digital native sila, lagi silang very sila techie. So social media, in fact, sa studies have shown that talagang it can have an impact na sa ating mental health, not just for the Gen Z but for all. But sa mga Gen Z kasi nga hawak nila lagi ito, there can be online bullying. So careful sila kasi ang online bullying is a form pa rin of bullying, no? And it can happen kahit tulog tayo. Pagising natin, malalaman na lang natin na oops, may mga things said about us kahit na. And then ang mahirap doon is that it will leave digital footprints. Another naman is that the tendency to compare. So sometimes yung sinabi ko kina sir na FOMO, fear of missing out, and then there's a tendency to compare na, oops, bakit siya nakakapagbakasyon, ako hindi. But we know na yung mga nilalabas naman natin sa profiles natin are the highlights, diba? Or edited. So we don't know naman the total picture. So careful lang kasi studies have shown that with excessive, again, the operative word here is excessive, the use of social media, it can have an impact like depression among the teens, among the Gen Zs, tumataas. It's a risk factor for depression because of the comparisons and anxiety also, and the fear of missing out. So yeah, these are some of the concerns ngayon nila.
Well, speaking of Gen Z, the GMA is producing a digital series with the Gen Z characters.
Yes.
On which you were a resource person, no? Itong In My Dreams. And a big part of the story happens in the protagonist's dreams, no? In their dream world, no? And you were advising the scriptwriters, the producers on the storyline, and why do dreams occur, diba?
Yes.
And so much of our lives parang are dominated by what we dreamed or what we thought we dreamt, and sometimes hindi lahat ng panaginip maganda, diba?
Correct, Sir Howie. In fact, sa ating di ba, sa biologically na lang muna, sa dreams natin, when we go to sleep, meron yan siyang mga stages. So, light sleep muna, stage 1, stage 2, then stage 3, stage 4, that's when we go into a deeper sleep, and then we go to the rapid eye movement na stage. That's where the dreaming, yung the dream state happens. So, medyo deep sleep na siya. And that's the time na medyo hirap, talagang we are immobilized because nga nasa dream state tayo. Now, according to Freud, ang dreams natin are the royal road to our unconscious. So dito lumalabas yung ating mga unconscious wishes, desires, goals, mga conflicts na in the real world, when we are in the waking state, ay hindi natin siya naiisip. So nakabaon siya doon in our unconscious. Kasi when we are in the waking state, nasa conscious plane tayo. So kasi according to Freud din, meron tayong topographical model of the mind. So there's a conscious, and then pre-conscious, and then the unconscious na. So yun ang lumalabas during the dream state kasi walang preno doon, di ba? Unlike in the conscious state, we are unable to, halimbawa lang, if ang unconscious natin is if we want to do something na negative, bawal. We can't do that, no? Kasi it's not allowed by society, by laws, ganun. But doon siya lumalabas, no? In the unconscious natin. Doon lumalabas in our dream state. So that's why it's also very important na yung iba sa amin, no? When we do therapy, Sir Howie, sa clinics, we also ask them, anong mga napapanaginipan mo lately? Anong mga content? Ano ang theme? We look for the theme of the dreams and how did you feel? We ask them, how did you feel upon waking up doon sa dream mo na yon? Kasi sometimes they feel na parang hinahabol sila sa dreams nila, natatakot sila. So there is always a meaning to all of the dreams natin.
Okay, I need to ask at this point, no? And it might sound like a personal consultation, but I'm sure I'm not unique. Marami siguro nakaka-experience din ito, no? Bakit ako hindi ko maalala yung mga dreams ko? I mean, I know what the dream made me feel. Kasi sometimes I'll wake up feeling good, parang tas iisipin ko parang sana hindi na muna ako gumising na kasi ang ganda ng ang ganda ng panaginip ko. But however, hindi ko na ma-recall yung detalye, no? So, ayan, sinasabi mo nga may mga pasyente ka na kayang sagutin yung tungkol sa mga panaginip nila, no? Ako naiinggit
Yes.
ako sa ganun eh. Ako gusto ko rin maalala yung mga napapaginipan ko eh. But I have a hard time. So am I unique in that sense, or marami din katulad ko? And how do I improve my memory when it
Yes.
comes to my dream? Is that possible?
Yeah, you are not alone, Sir Howie. Meron talaga pong even ako po pag minsan, no, talaga nakakalimutan natin yung dreams natin. But what we teach or what we advise is kung kaya when we are in that dream state and then parang nagising tayo, we write it down kaagad. So that's called a dream diary. Para masulat natin yun. And in therapy again, pag minsan they bring that diary, no, and then we talk about it, may mga patterns doon. No? Sometimes ang lumalabas kasi sa dreams pala ay mga fear natin. No? Na in the real world, in reality, in our waking state, hindi natin siya masyadong nako-confront, but lumalabas siya in our dream state. So we look for that, no? The pattern, meaning of our dreams. And kaya it's very important also na to kung kaya, to write about it. Pagkagising natin sa umaga, oops, ano ba yung mga dream ko kagabi? Then we can write it in our diaries also. That can help.
What's the point of remembering? Aside from ako,
Yes.
I'm just interested in knowing what I dreamed about, no? Pero
Yeah.
may mas malalim pa bang benefit 'yon kung
Yeah.
masusulat mo yung mga detalye ng panaginip mo?
Yes.
What's the benefit of that?
Yeah, kasi makikita natin doon, Sir Howie, sa kung ano yung mga content ng ating dreams. If there are any patterns, kung meron bang paulit-ulit na theme, meron bang specific na halimbawa experience or individual na lumalabas doon sa ating dream, or any specific na emotion na paulit-ulit. And then we look at that. Halimbawa, the emotion pala sa themes ng mga dream paulit-ulit is takot. Hinahabol sila ng something na they can't understand. And then they wake up feeling exhausted. Yung iba umiiyak because of the fear. Then we talk about it in therapy. No? Kasi baka, yeah, it's a symbolism of something which happened siguro in the past. Baka there were traumatic experiences from the past or something na the individual is going through ngayon, which can also help us understand kung ano ba yung mga current na concerns. We relate that now to the real setting real life setting. Baka in the real life pala very anxious tayo about uncertainties in life, about mga stressors natin in life na we are afraid to talk about, or we do not know, we are not aware about pala in the real world setting. At lumalabas siya sa ating panaginip.
So kung may dreams, meron din nightmares, no? So sa Tagalog, may panaginip at may mga bangungot, no?
Correct.
Mga bangungot ba ay mga masasamang panaginip? Or nightmares are just bad dreams, or are they two separate phenomenon?
Yeah, ang nightmares also, there is a meaning to that. So again, lahat ito, Sir Howie, we always ask about it. Kasi ang nightmares kasi, it can also be a manifestation of something na we are afraid of, we are scared of. Baka sa dream natin, ang nightmare natin is may mga mga kakaiba na mga may mga nag-attack sa atin, mga ganon. So baka that is the meaning of what we are really truly feeling currently, na we are afraid na someone is out there na gusto tayong saktan, or baka there's something happening in the community na inaaway tayo, or we feel threatened by someone sa trabaho, mga ganon, or from past experiences. So again, it's really very important kung kaya to remember kung ano ang dreams, how we felt about it, and if there's a recurring pattern or someone in our dream na paulit-ulit natin naaalala.
Nakamamatay ba ang bangungot? Kasi you often hear about that, no? Na may namatay dahil sa bangungot, binangungot, kaya namatay. So, is there truth to that, na nakamamatay ang bangungot?
Yun kasi, Sir Howie, more on the medical aspect na yun. Yung bangungot kasi, they say na there are medical causes to that. So sometimes heart conditions, biglaan, no, nagkaka-arrhythmia, yung irregular na po, no, yung conduction sa heart, iba naman sa ibang parts of the body, organs of the body. Ang turo namin always sa aming mga patients, no, kung talagang hirap sila. Sometimes kasi we feel paralyzed. Kasi nga parang hirap gumising, hirap bumangon sa sobrang nakatakot na dream, and you want to galaw and then you feel immobilized, parang there's that sleep paralysis. What we teach is kung kaya, no, move itong mga distal muscles natin, no? The distal parts of our body like the toes, itong fingers, kasi sila yung mas mabilis natin maggalaw, no, to allow us to wake up kaagad para maiwasan natin yung gano'n, no, na we feel paralyzed, we can't move because of mga bad dreams natin.
But you're saying itong mga deaths that are supposedly caused by bangungot, actually they're caused by medical conditions like heart, parang but because they're misunderstood, parang they're interpreted as having been caused by nightmares or bangungot. So kailangan mas malalim pa yung pag-diagnose, no? So in other words, hindi nagiging direct cause yung bangungot sa pagkamatay ng isang tao.
Yes, it's very important na we look at it always, kasi ang any form naman of condition, medical condition, we always look at it from a psychosocial perspective. So biologically, there can be some medical concerns, like for example, usually heart, kaya yung mga or nag-atake sila ng asthma and then they're not able to kaagad, no, address that, hirap huminga, or usually heart, it's really heart related, cardiac related po yung reasons for this, yung mga sudden death syndromes.
Okay, itong Gen Z na program, yung In My Dreams, no, na malapit nang lumabas, the protagonist, no, yung mga characters dyan, they're not just having dreams, no, they're having what you call lucid dreams, no?
Yes.
Yung kasi ang word na lucid, no? I'm sure that's also a technical term sa field ninyo, no? But lucid in English, no, it means clear, no? Napakalinaw, no? Sharp, no? Sharp yung image, sharp yung understanding o yung expression, ano? So ibig sabihin nito, napaka-graphic, napakalinaw yung panaginip ng mga characters na to, no? But in a clinical technical way, no, paano nangyayari to? Paano nagkakaroon ng lucid dreams na ganong kalinaw? Nakakainggit yun.
Tama yun, Sir Howie, yung when we say lucid kasi very vivid, no, very clear, there's clarity. But when we say lucid dreaming, the individual is aware. There is that awareness na they are dreaming while dreaming. So parang ganon. So aware sila na nananaginip na sila, pero aware sila na this is a dream. Parang ganon. So, I'm sure tayo nakakaranas sometimes, no? Paminsan-minsan na very spontaneous na pag may nangyari na, oops, bakit nangyari to? Pero dream naman to, magigising din ako. Parang ganon. So, ganon siya. And during that lucid dreaming, parang there is that kasi, no? Parang heightened lahat, multisensory ang experience nila, na heightened sensory experiences, kaya very graphic to them. And ang dito is they have control. Yung mga lucid dreamers, they have control over what is happening doon sa story ng kanilang dreams. There is that control. Yun yung important doon. For example, studies have shown, researchers have shown, Sir Howie, na meron tong magandang psychological effects sa ating well-being, mental health. Kasi when we are able to do that, yung lucid dreaming, pwede tayong mag-rehearse doon. Parang sa sports, yung mga athletes, if they're able to do this, may mga natitrain din kasi sila po to do lucid dreaming. They can rehearse their mental rehearsal. So alam nila, pag nag-dream sila na, ito pala, ito ang gagawin ko to prepare for an event, for a competition. Yung iba naman, in the waking state, for example, meron silang mga challenges, adverse life experiences. Because they're able to control it sa kanilang dream, then mas nagiging empowered sila. They are able to feel na they gain insights na ay ito pala, it can help me. Ito palang support system ko na available to me. So they are able to picture that sa kanilang dreams. And then with that insight ngayon, they are able to resolve conflicts in the waking state. Mas gumaganda, no? May resolution of their conflicts, for example. So marami siyang benefits, na like mental rehearsal, resolution of conflicts, and then yung iba naman po, no, they would learn yung mga problem-solving skills. At saka researchers have shown yung mga artists, Sir Howie, no, sa kanilang lucid dream, doon nila nakukuha yung mga storyline, for example, ng kanilang mga movie sa kanilang lucid dream. Kasi nakikita nila, ay, maganda palang storyline ito, or ito magandang painting, maganda to, magandang a theme, for example, for a song. But not everyone can do it, of course. Yung iba would have the ability to do it. And yung iba din, they can learn this also.
Well, Doc, people listening to you right now are probably all hoping that they experience lucid dreams, no? I mean, who doesn't want inspiration? Who doesn't want creativity while they're sleeping, di ba? So,
yes.
Mai-induce ba to? I mean, sabi mo nga, pwedeng sadyain ito eh. You don't have to wait for it to happen. You can actually induce it, no? You can actually create a condition na maari kang magkaroon ng lucid dream. Or is there something you can eat, drink?
They say na there's we can train, we can learn this through practice, and yung iba nire-rehearse na nila before they go to sleep na oops, I want to dream about this, or paulit-ulit nilang iniisip yung isang concept until when they go to sleep, yun pa rin ang nasa isip nila. Kasi ang dreams pala, Sir Howie, it's not just the road to our unconscious, it can be a manifestation also, yung dreams natin, of remnants from the activities natin during the day. So for example, remnants siya. So for example, may mga activity tayo na hindi natin natapos. Then that can come out na sa ating dreams. And then pwede natin dyan, oops, ano kaya ang plan ko for this office ko, design ng aking house, mga ganon. So it can also be that. So through practice, hindi lahat can be parang good candidates also. Kasi we need to be careful also. Kasi sometimes, for some, hindi na nila na-distinguish if this is a dream or reality. So, baka magkaroon din ng concern doon. So, be careful also. Now, we are still in touch with reality, and we know that this is just a dream, and then ito naman ay reality. Now, we don't bring that mga fantasies, dreams natin in the waking state, na hindi na siya yun ang real world natin.
And konting teaser lang dito sa makabagong digital series about dreams, no? I mean, so you're a resource person here and you review the scripts. Ano talagang realistic yung plotline dito, na you can actually, dream about someone that you will eventually meet in real life?
It's more on mental health, and the character has a lot of mga psychosocial concerns, a lot of mga events which siguro which affected her to the point na nagkaroon siya ng mga mental health concerns. And ang dream niya kasi was a form of coping, a form of escape from what was really happening in the real world, schools, a family. So it's a form of escape. Again, a form of coping siya, but a positive way of coping. Kasi there, she was able to yung think about mga yung mga ways of making her feel better. Ano ba yung mga sources available for her, mga strategies which can be helpful, and then na-apply niya yon in the waking state later on. Na because the character felt empowered, na pwede pala to, and I can rely on the support system ko. I have a good pala na healthy coping styles, coping strategies which can help me in terms of coping with the mental health challenges niya.
And so I guess it offers some important lessons then in the form of this drama, no, for young
Yes.
people or for everyone, no,
Mhm.
about dealing with their mental health concerns, no.
Correct.
Mm-mm.
Na it's really when we go through challenges, or how we what this series is also teaching us is that let's never feel hopeless, kasi there is always hope, at wag tayong mawala ng pag-asa, kasi there is always mga help, supports available to anyone who may be struggling with any form of mental health concerns or issues.
That's a great note to end on, no. Maraming salamat, Dr. Joan,
Thank you.
sa inyong sharing, serbisyo at malasakit. Thank you for helping us cope with the long lockdown and its effects. Mabuhay ka, Dr. Joan Rifareal, psychiatrist at mental health advocate.
Thank you,
Mabuhay po
Sir
kayo.
Howie. Thank you very much, Sir Howie, for having me, and more power to your podcast po. God bless you always.
Thank you po.
Hi, I'm Howie Severino. Check out the Howie Severino Podcast, an original for GMA News and Public Affairs. New episodes will stream every Thursday. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms.